Hey, Suge. All right, I'm so sorry about the last power review. It cut off. I don't know what happened. Technical difficulty. It was a terrible video anyway. Like I was all over the place. So we're gonna do a better one this go round because I'm not doing it again. But we're gonna move on, and this I'm gonna be better equipped. Well, at least I'm gonna try. Shit, y'all gonna get it however it is anyway. But I thank y'all for watching. This is episode 14, Reversal of Fortune. The opening scene, Tate calls Cedric the Entertainer he calls somebody to solicit a job. And he's drunk at the bar, and the bartender calls his brother to come and get him because, he trying to take her home, talking about how what he gonna do when he get her home and all of this, that, and the third, all this drunk talk. And then he wakes up in his nephew's bed and, gets up and goes in the kitchen, and everybody's like, so what was all that about? Heavy drinking, you all right? And he tells them, listen, guys, I'm out of the race. I'm defeated. That's why I'm drunk. I'm defeated. Pass me a drink now. And then he sees on the news, like everybody else, that Walsh has picked up James St. Patrick, to run with her as her lieutenant governor. And he pissed off, of course, just like everybody else that saw it on the news. Then we see Cedric the Entertainer and his son, and he's giving him some on-the-job training on contract killing, telling him how to slice the man's skin off, and they in there torturing that man. And then Cedric gets a call to, go do a job in New York. So that's where they headed. Tate and his brother, they at the gun range. And his brother's trying to convince him to join the NYPD again, giving him that talk like, I know your goals deterred a little bit, but why don't you come on back to the force, where it's safe, I guess. And, they in that scene. Now, that was insignificant. Ramona Walsh and the Democratic Party representative, they out to lunch, and then Tate running there pissed off. Wait a minute, y'all, that's the decision you gonna make? After all these years, that's what y'all gonna do? Reconsider. Choose me. Pick me. Why not me? And they like, why you? Listen, the decision has been made. It's signed, sealed, and delivered, and that's it. It's James. That's it. You can go home. I'm sorry, man. Better luck next time. And that, of course, because they smug, they real up, uppity, and they just they're sore winners. Like when people win and they kind of boast about it. Sorry, I'm always a winner. You're always a loser. That's what they was trying to give. And Tate was just like, well, F y'all then. Forget all y'all. He should have knocked over a drink. He should have drugged the the tablecloth off the table. Make a scene on the way out. Why not? Then Tate stops at a church and he talks to, the pastor, and the pastor trying to give him some hope. He ain't got no faith. He like, listen, well, tell God to come up with a miracle because I'm not seeing it. Well, listen, Tate, it might not be his will. It might not be in God's plan. It might not be in the will for you to have what you're trying to get. Just because you want it real bad don't always mean like it's for you. That'll preach. Anyway, Tate back at the headquarters, and tight-lipped detective and Sachs, they come in there, and because they still bouncing around trying to get somebody to tell on James so that they can arrest him. And Tate is all for it because we saw that already too. He turns around like, oh, get James, you say? Do tell. What I need to do. Do I need to wear a wire? Do I need to lie? What I gotta do? And then Tate meets with said, after that interaction, I guess, because he's probably like, well, shoot, if I can get him in jail this way, then I don't need nobody to kill him. So let me call them up and cancel that order. And he calls them to try to cancel his order. And they're like, nah, We came out here to kill somebody. So either you show us where the mark is or you the mark. And so then Tate runs the truth. And, he's there trying to tell Ghost, trying to warn him, listen, somebody may or may not try to kill you today. Be careful. But Ghost is on that big and bad, cocky stuff that he was on, a couple of episodes ago, where he was telling everybody, nobody is going to stop me. Nobody. You ain't nothing. Go ahead and lose. Don't be a sore loser. I'm sorry. I know I took your dream. My bad. But you'll be all right. Hang in there. Hang tight. Just being cocky. And, Tate was just like, all right, touche. That's all right. You know what? Congratulations. Good for you. I wish you well. You be well, Ghost. Be well. He should have told him, go with God. Because he knew somebody was finna come kill him. It may not have been who he sent, but somebody was on their way to kill him tonight. And so then Tate goes to a diner, and while he's in there, somebody recognizes him. That makes him feel better because everybody running up for an autograph, a picture, just trying to get some camera time with Tate. So that makes him feel better about, his place in the race, because if the people still want me, then there's hope after all. Back at the headquarters, his side piece is waiting on him now, and she coming there with the fake talk, with the fake small talk, and then she gets right to it. He's like, wait a minute, y'all trying to get me to concede? Did they send you over here? So you in there, you in on the scam too, huh? All right. Forget y'all. No, I ain't conceding. I ain't doing none of that. Get out. And so Ced and then and his son, they getting ready to go kill Ghost. And then, they in there. They sneaking. They hear Ghost up there. And the son, overzealous and trying to be an overachiever, he fires his gun and it ricochets. And that starts the shootout. And so then now we got the shootout again. Cedric, now we see why Cedric the Entertainer was even on the show, because at first his first scene was a dying scene. So it's like, what? That's all you wanted to get hired to do? You better than that, Ced. So now we see he had a little more to offer the show than just that. But he dies and his son, gets away. And back at the campaign, one of the staffers is in there trying to steal documents. Like, I don't know what he was in there doing, rummaging through things, and Tate catches him and he's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, y'all don't need this, do you? Y'all need this? Oh, y'all don't need this. Can I have it? Can I take it with me? Can I take it back to wash? She might need papers. She might need the papers. And, he's just like, okay, whatever. Go on and take this too. And take that too. He throwing glasses at him. And while he running out, Andre walks in, and then he gives him that information on Tariq and the whole, what's the man's name? The dirty cop. Oh, my goodness. What's his name, Lord? Raymond Jones. Yeah. Tells him about the murder of Raymond Jones. And then we see Tate in his car driving, and then he gets a call from Ced the Entertainer's son. He's frantic and panicky. Listen, what happened? Like, you didn't tell me it was gonna be other people there, and we done got it. It was all these folks shooting. Everybody was shooting. He was on his Soldier Boy when he was describing his, the whole situation to Tate, and Tate just listening. What? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know who this is, but don't call me no more, and hangs up the phone. And then Tate runs to Tasha, trying to get her to turn over on Ghost. Everybody is trying to do that. When all else fails, let's run to Tasha, because she know everything, and she gonna get, for sure, if we get her to roll over, then we got him. And she's not gonna do that. She's not doing that. So that's a lost cause. She don't believe that Ghost would be trying to talk to the feds and trying to turn Tariq in, because that's the story. Well, that's what Tate tries to use to get her to snitch on Ghost. Tate taking out the trash, and Said the Entertainer's son rolls up on him like, all right, so what was that you was talking about? Yeah, I'm back. I knew you would come outside. I knew you would come outside eventually, and I was waiting. I was waiting to catch you in the shadows, taking out the trash. And, you know, he's like, wait. I didn't have nothing to do with your daddy dying. Like, I didn't know that anybody else was going to be there. It wasn't a setup. Like, I told y'all the job was off, and y'all went out there anyway. So that's not really my fault. And he's like, oh, okay. It's going to be somebody's fault. What you about to do is take me in the house, and I'm going to kill everybody in there. Your brother, your niece, your nephew, your sister-in-law, your grandma. Everybody in that house finna die today, and you go watch. And before Tate could say anything, his brother comes out there and shoots the man. So sorry to that man. He go in the house, and the family's like, what was that? What was that? Like, what happened? I don't know. Like, a mugger. He was trying to mug me. Like, I don't know. I guess he was all hopped up on something too. Just add that in there. Just turn the man into a crackhead. All the stereotypes, all the stuff white folks do. That's another soapbox for another day. But anyway, then the Democratic Party, they at his headquarters, and they dare to collect everything they got up in there. They want it all back. And tight-lipped detective to come in there and to add, you know, more salt on the wound. She tells Tate, well, sorry, we won't be needing your testimony. We can't get a warrant. There's nothing I can do about it. I guess the man gonna be on the way to Albany. Sorry. That pisses him off some more. Simon come in there too. Simon and Walsh, they walk up in there talking about they got a proposition. They want his endorsement. And he's like, I'm not giving y'all no endorsement. Y'all keep coming thinking that I'm a roll over for y'all. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not coming. I'm not stepping down. I'm not conceding. I'm not stepping down, conceding, same thing. Sorry, guys. I'm not endorsing nobody. I'm not doing none of that. And they like, listen, think about the optics. Like, you might want to do this because ain't nobody, if you can salvage what's left of your sorry political career, ain't nobody gonna vote for no sore loser. So you might want to come on over to the winning side. And he's like, man, F your winning side. I'm not doing that. They gonna vote for me because I stand on principle. You pandering. And that's what you've been doing. You think you can just tag on another blackface to get what you want. You've been pandering so long, you don't even know you're doing it no more. Like, you can't even stop. And she can't. She was like, you're right. You know what? You're right. And I'm a pander all the way to Albany while you're sitting here. So you might want to endorse me. And then she just roll out. Simon, too. They just a mess. Then Tate, you know, he pulled a gun out his drawer, all upset, and calls Dre and like, let's go ahead and meet. And then we see that they meet, and, you know, Dre comes in there and gets his new identity and all of that. We see that. Then Dre leaves to go do the job, and Tate gets a call from his brother, and he's like, listen, I'm coming to get you right now. We gotta go and talk about this robbery again. They get in the car, and his brother's like, listen, I don't know, but I feel like you had something to do with that shooting around the house. And he's like, I wouldn't have done that. Like, it really was a robbery. He's like, no, was it a robbery, or like, was he gunning for you? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it was a robbery. You too cynical. I mean, I know you've been living around in the hood. It's like, nigga, he's looking at him like, really? So, cause you've been politicking a little while, you done forgot? Okay. You right. Ain't no bloodshed happened in my neighborhood until you came around. So what else is going on? What's really going on? And he still, you know, ain't gonna tell him nothing. Then he goes and gives his statement to the police, and the cops accept the story as well. And they're, you know, like, pound. All right. It was good to see you. You know, I remember back when you was a cop, you know, you should come back. And, you know, Tate is still on that. I'm not joining the force again. I'm not doing none of that. You know, anxious to get up out of there. And his brother is still like, y'all not gonna ask no more questions? Like, this is it? He's surprised at how easy, you know, things are just flowing, like how lucky his brother is. And then while, you know, they're in there chopping it up, another police officer comes in, you know, he's like, we got to have all hands on deck. There's been a shooting out, you know, around there at Truth. And Tate is like, a shooting at Truth? Were there any injuries? Was anybody hurt? Oh, there was one fatality. And his brother's over there looking like, I know him, and he acting weird. Something is up with him, asking all these questions. And so then they want Tate to go. You come on, Tate, come on, ride with us. Tate brother, like, he ain't no police officer. He can't just be riding with us to a crime scene. He's a civilian. And they like, oh, once a cop, always a cop. Come on, let him go. And then they leave, and Tate and his brother, they riding together to Truth. And his brother says, why do I get the feeling that you're involved in this? And he's like, how? How could I be involved in it? Like, I've been with you at the police station all this time. How could it be me? And, you know, he was like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I can't help you if I don't know all the details. And you're going to have to tell me something. And then he finally breaks him down, and he's like, okay, look, I knew it. Damn, I knew you was involved in this. Okay, a dude named Andre may or may not have killed Ghost tonight. Maybe, I don't know. And then, you know, his brother's like, what? And he's like, and he might try to implicate me and say that I paid him. Well, did you pay him? No, I ain't pay him. Don't lie. I swear. Lies. But, you know, his brother still just like, I don't get it. I don't believe you, but stay lucky. And they pull up to Truth, and he tells him, listen, I'm going in here. Don't you get out. You stay in the car. I'm not going to touch nothing. Stay in the car. He don't stay in the car. He got his gun. And I don't know what he was going in there to do. It was already a shooting. Like, was he going to finish the job to make sure the job was done? And if it wasn't, was you going to shoot him right there with all the police outside and the media? What was he going to do? But anyway, he gets out the car with his gun, put his hood on, and he going to go inside. And when he going in there, he gets stopped by the media. You know, they're asking him questions about Ghost, well, James St. Patrick and all of that. And, you know, them kind of being rivals a little bit with the fact that Ghost was on Walsh's ticket when Tate is the one that brought him into the fold. You know, he gives this nice politician speech, you know, being all, you know, politically correct. And his brother's like, damn, how do you come up with that bullshit so fast? Practice, my brother, practice. He been practicing his BSing since practicing. That's what he does. Walsh and the Democratic Party representative, they show up to Tate's office, and they're like, you know, well, no, they show up to Tate's brother's house. My bad. They show up to the house asking him, you know, trying now that Ghost is dead, they got to have somebody. She needs a black face. So, okay, it's you now. Now's your chance. And he's like, oh, no, don't be trying to come over here and get me now. Don't try to do it now. I ain't going to do it unless I'm governor and she's my lieutenant governor. And she's like, that ain't the deal. We made the deal over the phone. Now we just coming over here to talk details. Don't you be trying to switch up. And he's like, nope, changed my mind. I thought about it some more. These are my terms. And they put her out. And they shake on it. And so that's what it is. And next we see Tate at the church speaking to the common folk. And they, you know, amening him and clapping. And there's a whole lot of people there listening to his speech. They all excited about, you know, what's to come with Governor Tate. And Ramona she in the audience, mad. I mean, fuming, just sitting there, face all toe up. That's what you get, girl. That's what you get for being nasty and shady and a snake and thirsty. Cause she only did all that because she liked ghosts. Then they get outside, and his brother tells him about Andre, getting killed in jail. He's stunned by it, and he, is just standing there processing that, and then he gets stopped by the media again. And they're talking to him, and he looks over and sees Ramona over there, and then just has to add, "Oh, dang, I forgot to get her back too." Throws a little rumor out there that she'd been sleeping with James St. Patrick. She was having an extramarital affair with him. So now, of course, the media's gonna run with that. Back at the headquarters, Simon, he back, and now he on his side, back on his side, all up under him, trying to give him advice on stuff and trying to give him the rundown of what to expect. He's just like, you fake. Now you back, like, you wasn't thinking about me. And he's like, yeah, you right. You winning now. Might as well join. Like before, you was losing. So of course I was over there, not over here with the loser. Have a good day. Simon is really an a-hole, and he don't care. He don't care that he's racist, and he's overtly racist. Like, he's racist, and he's not apologizing for it. Then we see Tate in bed with the side piece. So they back screwing. They back screwing again. And he goes downstairs or whatever, and she comes down there a little while later. But there's a knock at the door, and it's Ramona. She mad that he's out there spreading rumors about her. And so the two of them, the side piece and Tate, they get her with a few little words, hurt her feelings a little bit, throw it all in her face, like, because they don't care. They know that, they just spreading rumors, and she's never going to be able to come back from this, and they don't care. So they sent her on her way, and then Tate sends side chick on her way. He's like, oh, and you can go too. Thanks for this nice room. Thanks for paying for the room. It's been real. And she's like, what? Really? You gonna do that to me? Yeah, girl, because you turncoat too. Like, if you really cared for Tate, when all of that had went down, she wouldn't have left his side. But she was ready and willing to take a check and a congressional seat, because that's all she was screwing him for anyway. And now that he's the governor, she back. So he know what time it is with you, girl. She talking about, don't call me again. Okay. And while he's sitting there watching the news, he sees on the news that they found the suspect in the James St. Patrick shooting. And they're like, we're going to show you who it is when we come back from commercial. And, of course, we just see Lorenz Tate sitting there like, oh, my God. Like, he could not believe who it was. And I hope we all have that same reaction, or else I'm going to be mad. Better not be a bus. But that was it. That was it for Power season 6, episode 14. We got through it. Like, y'all, I've had to re-record this like 4 times because either I got a call, because I do it on my phone. So if a call interrupts, I got to just start it over. So let me just stop talking before a call interrupts. I'm done anyway, so go ahead and call. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. The channel is Call Me Busby. And I'll be back in a little while with While I Was Out. I got to get my mind right, because Kobe is one of the topics. So we ain't going to be crying on here. We ain't going to do that. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and light.